Hello, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dominic, of course, and I hope we're all doing okay today. And how the hell do you stop Erling Haaland? And in this video, I will be talking about how you stop Erling Haaland. But obviously, the man is a robot, isn't he? He can't be stopped. And how many times have we seen him celebrate like that? How many times? Before we start this video, if you haven't already, 81% of you haven't subscribed to this channel, and I do appreciate all the subscriptions I've been getting. I've got a few yesterday actually, which I'm really pleased about. So you know what, go and subscribe to the channel. If I'm not too fussed about notification bell, I don't do the notification bell. It would irritate me, to be honest with you. So just a subscription, that'll be fine. Like and comment below what you thought on this video. But yeah, what this man I'm going to show up again, Erling Haaland. How on earth do you stop him? And obviously, you can't injure him, and that's the only rule. Because obviously, last season he was injured for about half of the time he was at Borussia Dortmund, but he still was top 5 in the Bundesliga in terms of top scorers. He's got 22 goals in 16 games so far for Manchester City in all competitions. And recently he has been injured. So maybe that is the reason why. And that is the episode, guys. No, but really, how on earth do you stop Haaland? I've got 3 reasons or 3 ways you could potentially do it. But yeah, at the end of the day, he's a machine, isn't he? He's going to do whatever he wants. And nobody's going to stop him at the end of the day. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to cut off the supply. As you can see here, Haaland in the XG has mainly scored inside the box, but to stop someone from feasting from the table, you must cut off the supply from the kitchen. I wrote down a little quote there. There you go. And obviously, Haaland's XG there is insane, and that was this is a little bit outdated as well. But 16 goals in 40 shots, which is incredible. He's 6 above his normal XG, and scores pretty much every 4 shots. So it's a key indication that if you stop the supply, because if you talk about Haaland being the best striker in the world right now, you can't ignore the fact that De Bruyne is currently the best creator in the world right now. If you look at this assist or from the wide areas of De Bruyne this season, the amount of times he's got the ball from either deep or from an advanced role and put it into the box for Haaland just to tap in. Because go back to it, look at the goals he scored, all of them being inside the 18 box. I think there's only a goal against Wolves that was outside the box, and we'll go on to that in a second. But De Bruyne's got 9 assists in 12 games, and if you look at this is a little bit of a sideshow for you guys. If you look at this here, this is the Liverpool game, and interestingly enough, sorry, the Liverpool game, and I'll give you a second. Which other game didn't he score in? It was the Bournemouth game. Okay, I can't really keep it going for that long, but it was weirdly the Bournemouth game that stopped him from scoring. And before that Liverpool game, as you can see, the first half heat map, Haaland being number 9 and De Bruyne being number 17. How off he is from that game, and obviously he didn't score. Liverpool were victorious, and you might say deserved the victory as well that game. I think I talked about it on this. Well, I definitely talked about it with Cal, who I do a podcast with on this channel. So if you go back and listen to that, I think it's about a 40-minute episode. To be honest, I don't know why I keep saying episode, but yeah, with De Bruyne so far away from Haaland, it's key that for teams to try and figure this out. And obviously, there are other ways you could do it. Injury can play its massive role. Obviously, form right now, Haaland is immense. Maybe not. After his injury, but the second way I think that the Haaland could be stopped is trying to get physical with Haaland. I think that is key. If you're not going to try and cut off the supply, then you need to stop him from turning towards you. You have to get him going backwards. But the only thing you could say from that is that allows other players to be in and around the box instead of Haaland. He could just be a decoy. Like I said, well, I've not said it, but he's 13.6 touches per goal. Insane. I think that sort of shows how inactive he is in the game. I think this is a subtle way that Pep's got Haaland playing, just to be very efficient on his touches and his shots. And I think if you have a look at this Bournemouth little picture here, if you allow Haaland to look away from the goal instead of towards the goal. The only way that City can then score is through a through ball, and obviously that is an ideal shot there because Bernardo Silva went in on goal from a Haaland assist, and he ended up scoring. But that's a different argument, you know. I'm just saying, how do you stop Haaland, not how do you stop Man City? Because if you figured that out, I mean, you're going to win the league. You're going to win the league. But I think the fact that Haaland is so what seems to be inactive is a very subtle way of Pep saying, okay, just try and be in the shadows, be undercover essentially, and then when you do get the ball, that's when you attack. And I think the game against Man United, I've got a screenshot here. Haaland was allowed the time off the ball and allowed to drop us essentially. And if you compare it to this one here with the Bournemouth defender getting up his rear essentially and allowing this one allowing Haaland to turn. He scored a hat trick in this game, by the way. So that sort of shows the how poor United were in their tactics with this machine essentially, this robot up front. I think, like I said, it's the only positive for Bournemouth in that game because obviously they did lose 4-0. But I think that if a team is good enough to implement what Bournemouth did for Haaland and are good enough to progress the ball more than what Bournemouth can, because obviously Bournemouth are essentially a championship team in the Premier League, then that could be the key and that could be the actual result that you would need against Haaland. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, and it's something that something else could crop up. De Bruyne could score a 35-yard goal. Foden and Bernardo Silva could bag a hat trick as well. But in this video, it's just about how to stop Haaland. Third and final point that I will say is it's just a small one, is to block off the running of Haaland in itself. As you can see in this image again, Haaland is allowed to run onto the ball and into the United attack. And I think it's sort of similar to the last point. If it allows Haaland to run into space, then that is his biggest strength, and you're just playing towards that. When you look at the Liverpool result, they played a high line, so he wasn't allowed to run in behind. Even though that is another, there's endless positives to Haaland's game. Obviously, that's the most basic point I could say in this video, but he's allowed to bully defenders essentially, and that's what essentially he did in against United and the other games where he scored the hat tricks. And I think that Liverpool and Bournemouth have shown an ingredient and a key philosophy and how to stop him. And I think that ultimately that's the way to do it. But obviously, like I said at the start of the video, this man cannot be stopped. And I think the only thing realistically, that could stop Haaland is Haaland himself with his legs and his muscles. He's still young and he's getting these injuries right now. I don't know how long he can keep up with this form essentially, and that's the key word as well. Form, it's temporary, but he's shown it from the age of 17 till 22, 23 years now. It's just at any level, even at international for Norwich, Norway. It might as well be Norwich. But that's for Man City. What a time to be a fan. I know he has that contract clause there that could potentially make him move on to a Real Madrid or a PSG in a couple of seasons' time. But what a time to be a City fan it is right now. And I think that's it for the video, guys. I think that obviously I've made my points and I've shown the statistics, obviously with the De Bruyne one and the Haaland one. But ultimately, I think the only thing that could stop Haaland right now is himself. So if you have enjoyed this video, please can you go and subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel. The Arsenal one did get a lot of good feedback, so I do appreciate that. My ultimate aim is to get to 100 by the end of the year. Hopefully I can get there. But if you haven't already, like I said, subscribe, comment below, like the video if you have, notification bell if you want to. I won't be upset if you don't. And I'll see you tomorrow for the podcast, for the HAALAND podcast. So I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Cheers.